Yo, YouTube, this is Nezrak, trying to fix you guys real quick. And it's time for another Nez's RE video. Today we are adjusting propaganda, okay? And I think we've all been victims of propaganda and marketing, okay? Marketing and propaganda are pretty much essentially the same thing, except propaganda is meant to control your feelings on things, and marketing is meant to arouse feelings of things. That makes sense? But nonetheless, let's get into propaganda and how it's a form of marketing, how it's a form of, better way to say it, phishing, okay? So, if you're on YouTube, like me, I'm a total YouTube whore. Every time I have a computer in my possession or a phone with internet access, I'm usually on YouTube at one point or another, looking at a slew of different things. But lately I've been noticing that there's been a new ad out talking about Iran, okay? And the new leader of Iran and this, that, and the other, and how Obama's wrong for trying to, make peace with these people. The video completely ignores the fact that everyone in the Middle East really has a legitimate reason to hate us. And it's not propaganda driven. It's because we fuck up everything over there. And a lot of people will say that. Now, before you click, and start typing in caps and getting angry at what I'm saying here, listen to the reasons why I say this, okay? The reasons why the United States has such a bad reputation overseas, and even in some of the Asian countries like Korea, Japan, China, is because we do a lot of meddling, okay? When they say the American meddlers, that's not bullshit. Gaddafi, the fucker al-Assad, a lot of these people were put into power by us. The coup d'etat that happened was CIA funded, and it's all usually, to make sure that these guys keep on using the buck, the American dollar, the USD, because right now it's the most not the strongest currency in the world, but it's the universal currency of the world. Everybody, you can use the American currency anywhere, it'll be accepted. Okay, I forgot that was on. Probably darker now too. You can use American currency almost anywhere in the world. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think if you go to Mexico, you have to go get pesos. If you go to Canada, you have to go get Canadian dollars. If you go to Australia, you have to use Australian dollars. Negative. You can walk around anywhere, damn near anywhere in the world with American cash in your pocket and buy shit anywhere, because people will accept it, because that's how their government has accepted our currency. So, I mean, when we see all these revolutions like al-Assad, everybody's like, oh, he's gassing his own people, this, that, and the other. Al-Assad is pretty much, I'm not going to say the guy's a good guy, because he's not. He's a dictator that we put there. He's pretty much one of those dictators that decided to stop using American currency. Ironically, Saddam did, Gaddafi did. I forgot who the guy in Egypt was, but that fucker did too. And once they started going off of American currency as their primary trading currency, they started devaluing the American dollar. So when it comes down to it, it's all about money. Now, what does that have to do with propaganda? Remember that ad I mentioned before? That ad would have you believe that, this guy has some crazy, radical religious views, this, that, and the other. It's time to attack America, blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. The reality of the situation, that's just rhetoric. It's no different from Sarah Palin pandering to the Tea Party in 2008 and 2012 and now, even though she lost fucking a long ass time ago. It's like, it's no different from the Republicans shutting down our government to pander to that base. And they fucked up our country doing it, but these people are still on their side. And it's propaganda. Oh, they stuck to their values. That's the kind of person I want running my country. What if his value is to sleep with 14-year-old girls, as many as possible? Would that be right? And if that's wrong, that's not your values, but that's maybe somebody else's in a different country, which is completely accepted in that country, which makes you think, okay, so if it's unacceptable to you, in your country, in your culture, in your frame of mind, but it's acceptable in that country altogether, it's normal practice, then why should you be able to tell them not to do it? And why should they be able to tell you that it's okay? You know, that's what propaganda is. Propaganda is meant to make you feel a certain way, to make you ignore all logic. Sorry, I was checking my time, and to make you pretty much abandon all logic for some moral principle that doesn't exist. Okay, laws, rules, we make them. Okay, they didn't make us. So that's pretty much what propaganda is in a nutshell. We're gonna do a part 2 for this, I think. So that way we can touch more on propaganda, because it's a very extensive topic. Okay, YouTube, so we're back with part 2 of propaganda and you. Not sure if that's what it's called. We'll find out what the hell we're gonna name it after we're done. But propaganda and what it's meant to do, okay? Now, propaganda is geared toward people. When I say people, I mean me, 28-year-old black male, you, whatever the hell you are, and your family, and my family, and, you know, these other families. What propaganda is supposed to do, bottom line, is to separate you from people who are different from you, okay? And it's been working extremely well now, especially with all the crap happening in Washington, okay? The Republicans, here I go, spewing out my own propaganda at you right now, okay? But I feel this is true, okay? The Republicans have completely gone batshit crazy, okay? The whole party, even the grassroots basics have gone fucking batshit crazy. And they're constantly told that they're right. They live in what we call the Republican bubble. Now, Democrats, if you watch the Young Turks, have their own version of the bubble, where regardless of how bad you fucked up, the cop is still wrong for kicking your ass for doing it. Do I agree with that? No. Do I think that cops shouldn't shoot at vans at that are full of kids? You know, no. But I mean, he was obviously shooting at the tire, and if you've ever handled guns, you'd know that it's quite difficult for a gun to pierce a minivan, let alone blah 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 blah. What are you doing? Don't get your butt kicked. Get out of here. You just want my video. Yeah, that's why I stopped, because somebody wants to be the Blue Ranger. You're not a Power Ranger. Buzz off. Buzz off. Get out of here before I kick your butt. Get out of here. Get out of here. Kick your butt. Kick your butt. Okay, so that part of the video is ruined. Will it stay in? I don't know. Maybe. Why are you standing behind me making me nervous? Anyway, YouTube. God, I was doing so good, man. Okay, you win. What do you want? What do you want? Okay, we'll be back with more part 2. Okay, YouTube, so now we're back with part 2, continued for obvious reasons. But anyway, we will all walk... part 2 of propaganda and you. I had to do it, I'm sorry. Anyway, we're back with this topic, and we are going to the bubble that we all live in, okay? Now, we live in a bubble as Americans, first off and foremost, okay? And I wanted to address the fact that propaganda is prevalent today, and it's been prevalent and very effective in history. It's the most powerful tool we have, okay? Any government, any entity has is propaganda, because you get not only your enemies on your side, you can make your enemies your foot soldiers, okay? Perfect example, okay? Not perfect example. Let's talk about an example of how powerful propaganda is, okay? Nazi Germany, okay? The Prime Minister of Propaganda, forgot his name, something Goebbels, Goebbels. He was the Minister of Propaganda during Hitler's reign, and pretty much they had run into a problem. This is just one example, because Goebbels was a brilliant dude. Like, that guy was a genius, okay? For propaganda-wise. Now, Hitler, on the other hand, everybody thinks Hitler's a genius. He's not, okay? Goebbels made Third Reich, okay? That guy. The picture with Hitler standing in front of fucking guns and everything, Goebbels. All Goebbels, okay? Goebbels was brilliant, okay? So anyway, Goebbels was the guy who pretty much got the Germans on the side of the Nazi party, okay? Let's make sure that we get that straight, first off and foremost. And that's not very easy to do. But with all of Germany on freaking Hitler's side, he still had to deal with the army, not the chancellor, the general, the army general, some guy like, I forget his name, okay? But that guy didn't like Hitler. He didn't like the Nazi Party. He didn't like anything about the Nazi Party, okay? He detested them, okay? But he controlled the army, okay? And Hitler couldn't really just, go over and try to take over the government because this fucker right here would stop him, okay? And with all of his stormtroopers, with all of his soldiers, everything he had, he still didn't stand a chance because of one factor, okay? It's the German army is big as shit, so, I mean, that's really hard to deal with, but there were some people in the German army who were Nazi sympathizers. And then you had the African elites. And the African elites were pretty much mercenaries that the German army has hired. The African elites historically have been around since the days of Hannibal, okay? When I say Hannibal, I'm not talking about Hannibal Lecter. I'm talking about General Hannibal. I think I want to say he was from Rome. I forget. He was like a prince or something like that. Became a general and he fought against the Roman Empire all by himself. And he was like crushing Romans with like half as many troops, a third of the troops that they had. And African elites were a key part of his military strategy. Look up the African elites and look up Hannibal and look up Goebbels and his defamation of the African mercenaries in Germany, Nazi Germany. So anyway, I'm going to explain that to you right now. But anyway, what he did was he went out to the local newspapers all over Germany, and started posting bogus articles, okay? Now, these bogus articles were very bogus, okay? Because think about it, it's Germany, okay? Prostitution's legal there. Let's make sure that we keep that in mind. So, he starts posting that African mercenaries are raping German women. Now, in a country where prostitution's legal, and if any of you have really seen German women, what? Okay. So anyway, he posts that, and he eventually, gets all the German women that scared that their vagina is going to get attacked by a big giant black penis, and they're gone. They're out of there. Okay. Eventually, the consensus was these guys aren't safe to have in the streets. Let's get them out of our country. So they kicked out the African elites. What this did for Hitler was it made it to where the army was too weak to actually fend off his forces. The Nazi Party, the people that he just had acquired over time, the people who decided to follow him. Okay, so now the person, I forgot his name. I keep forgetting his name. The guy who pretty much controlled the army had to name Hitler his successor. He didn't have a choice. Either that or get crushed. He couldn't let Hitler go run off and try to take over the country, because then he'd have the army plus the African elites. But that power is gone once the African elites are gone. So, that was one way that propaganda won a war without even fighting it. There was no German Civil War there because, the African elites were the key to turning the tide of the battle, and Goebbels got rid of them. Now, to talk about something a little bit closer to home, I got 2 minutes. We're going to try to make this fast. Talk about something a little bit closer to home. Let's think about post-Germany, Holocaust, where we took a whole bunch of Jews and we kicked all the Palestinians off their land, and we put all of these Jews there instead. Now, the Jews are supposed to have a piece of land about yay big, okay, and that was the Holy Land for the Palestinians and the Jews, okay? But Americans kicked those people off that land. Americans didn't own the land or nothing, kicked them off of their own land and put a bunch of Jews there. Jews that had lost that land long before then, okay? So we put those people there. Not only did they take that land, they started killing the farms and the families and just pretty much executing and committing their own Holocaust right after they got killed, on the Palestinians, kicking them off their land, even further off of their land, okay? So, if you weren't near the Holy Land and you were, 60 miles away, they still come to your house, burn down your farm, kill your family, and move to your neighbor's house 3 more miles down, okay? So, I mean, that's when propaganda kind of really hits home, because we're told that Muslims are violent by nature and this, that, and the other, when the reality is that we kicked them off their land And the assholes that we put there started massacring their families. So it's like, yeah, I'd be pissed too. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. There will be more videos similar to this, and we're going to start doing SSRE videos every Friday. So feel free to like and subscribe. I know I'm cutting it short. I didn't get too deep into that, but I'm running out of time, and I've been trying to make this video for like 2 hours, seriously. So anyway, feel free to like and subscribe. Deuces.